Cell. Metal Sonic. In this world, you're either not perfect or you're not these two combatants. We're both made to be perfect, and we're gonna make a fight. I'm Domination, and this right here is Pits. We're going to go through their stats and abilities to find out who will win a NEXUS battle.
We can try being no more energetic.
When people look to the future, you may see a sparkling utopia full of hope and glimmer. But for this future, you'll only find a world of pain, sorrow, and loss. All caused by the evil androids made by Dr. Jarrell, which were able to kill the Earth's mightiest heroes, the Z-Fighters. But even after all this, there's still a piece of perfection. A bio-android made by Dr. Jarrell, which has the biodata of Vegeta, Piccolo, Goku, and even Frieza and his father, King Cole, and Krillin T and Yamcha, but no one cares about them. Unfortunately, Dr. Jarrell couldn't see this creation because of obvious reasons, but this creation wasn't perfect yet. He would have to suck up his brother and sister to become perfect. Well, a little issue, actually big issue, Trunks, the emo boy himself destroyed them. So he did away what he would do. He killed them and stole his time machine. Well, instead of going all the way back to where the androids are, he went a little further back to in his chrysalis. So he would have to watch them. He would watch all the way from the Saiyan saga to the Frieza saga until he finally woke. Cell has awoken to cause mayhem to suck people up to gain more power. And after sucking up at 17, he became semi-perfect. And after sucking up the final one, he became perfect. Cell.
Okay, what is Cell anymore? I mean, he has the same DNA as I lost track. What species even is he?
To be honest, I lost track after he said he had Saiyan DNA, and whatever Frieza is, let's say he's a new kind of species, okay?
Yeah, that's about right.
Saiyan is the strongest form of Saiyan Son, because before he already destroyed islands and matched Piccolo, who was able to destroy the moon in a power level at 400, which is around 30 trillion megatons of TNT.
And he's only grown stronger since then. And since he was able to sprout him, he also knows moves like solar flare, even the Kamehameha, and instant transmission, and the special beam cannon, even the multi-form. That's what it is, and telekinesis.
And that's only scratching the surface of all he can do. He can even sprout these mini Cell Juniors that have the same power level as him, and even though his self-destruct form, he was able to recover from said explosion from his cells, something he didn't even know he could recover from. And I know there are a lot of Dragon Ball fans around here, but let's talk about his power level of 5 million.
Yeah, I know, power levels are a little odd, but let's try to make sense of it. Let's see,
Assuming the power level of 400 was needed to destroy the moon, multiplying 5 million divided by 400, that would equal 3.75 quintillion megatons of TNT, which is around 200 million joules. Nillion is 1 followed by 30 zeros. That's enough power to completely shatter the Earth. Also surpasses King Vegeta, who destroyed 3 planets just by waving his hand. And something else that's impressive, he knows instant transmission, which thanks to the Cooler movie, literally sends you to a dimension where time stands still. And since he knows their techniques, he could theoretically use the Kaioken, or even the evil containment wave.
Okay, it might sound stupid from saying this, but what even is the evil containment wave?
Other word, Pits, you do sound stupid.
Hey!
You see, it pulls you in with energy wave and traps you in a little capsule, regardless of how powerful you are. Although it has failed before because it has been overpowered before.
Wait, if it's that powerful, no, I've been using it on Asshole.
I did try it once, and it failed immediately and he broke the void. But even with all this perfection, he still needed a perfect opponent. That was Goku. They fought and was even able to match him in strength. This battle was gone on forever. It wasn't. In fact, Goku brought Gohan and Cell beat the shit out of him. Kind of brutally, actually. Truly. Even after Goku gave him a sensu bean, but with some inspiring word from Android 16, Gohan finally let loose, going to a super duper Saiyan.
He just went crazy on Cell. Even he running up to Dolly in his semi-perfect form. He would have died if it wasn't for the fact he got desperate and turned into self-destruct form. But at the last second, Goku transported him away, and that's where he blew up. And that was the end of Cell. Psych! He came back stronger! He came back to life and stronger than ever! These are Saiyan cells, but in the last being struggle, that is where he finally died. But the legacy Cell still lives on in Cell Max. Being stronger than both Goku and Vegeta during the time period, which is sensitive, and took the new form of Piccolo and Gohan to fight him. And then Cell was finally gone.
Well, then a bunch of stuff GT, he came back to life, and teamed up with Frieza, trapped him, the version of Goku that was able to destroy a dimension just by overpowering it, and then Cell was able to absorb him, but it immediately backfired, and then both him and Frieza got brutally killed, and then it was the end of Cell.
Really?
Trust me, there's no more shit after that, but the threat of Cell still lives on in everyone's mind, as you can't forget a threat that is perfect. Everybody knows Sonic the Hedgehog, protector of Mobius and Earth. And you know the rest from there. Saved the world, stopped Eggman a bunch of times, became a knight, became a popsicle, and went through a number of different forms, even met himself, and we don't talk about that. Yup, there's no one quite like Sonic the Hedgehog. We're not here to talk about Sonic yet. We're here to talk about Eggman's greatest creation, Metal Sonic. A bandit not only that looks like Sonic, but that can rival him. And trust me, it's true. Like, for example, in Sonic Generations, it's said to be that Metal Sonic is his greatest rival. But, well, his reasons of hating Sonic goes beyond. He wants to be Sonic. He would do anything to be the real deal. To him, the real deal is obsolete. Even after his rebellious fate stopped turning away, he still had hatred. But in honesty, he's jealous. Not hatred, he wants to be real, but that doesn't stop him from doing whatever it takes to surpass the blue blur. And he's actually pretty tough. He hired to the Edmobile, who survived this black hole, which is powered by Hyper Gohan energy, the same energy Whis have, which can even surpass the emeralds. For example, one emerald can stop the time meter, being that literally warps time, and the Whis can surpass the emeralds. And they're actually quite versatile, like some whips turning into beams of light, some turning into intangible, and some even turning into black holes and asteroid with similar effect, some just turning into bombs. And Metal Sonic can use said whips against the will, of course.
As a fellow robot, he has all of these abilities, like the Black Shield, Vampirasis, and the Maximum Overdrive. And he has all this Chow, which can deflect and steal items.
Pitch, are you forgetting about something?
What? Is Naruto name? Yeah, I know, right?
No, it's his copy ability. It's a copy ability just by looking at them, right?
Shadow's Chaos Control Fountain and Chaos Emerald, and Silver Psychokinesis. Even copied Eggman's Spiral Data, which means he's such a smart as him, and can even match Sonic in skill. You know, the same Sonic who became a Master Swordsman, and was strong enough to fight Perfect Chaos in his base form, who can destroy a planet. There were even instances where he overpowered Sonic, like when he fought Silver and Sonic, where the only way to defeat him was to hold him in place. And his copy ability doesn't only copy their abilities, it also copied their bio data. which means he can know all their skills just by looking at them. Hell, he doesn't even need some external source like most of their abilities do. He can just look at them and he can just do them. Which means he has Espio's invisibility and Silver's ESP. Even signature moves like Chaos Spears or Chaos Blast from Shadow. And sometimes he doesn't even need Bio Damage to copy the ability. You just look at it, like how he copied the Chaos Control just by watching it happen. Which means you would be able to use all of the item abilities. So, let me just fit something real quick. There we go. And being able to copy items is very useful when the guy you're copying has some of the oddest stuff. Like trapping a bubble or having gems that travel to the past. Even these weird gem things have a number of different abilities. Someone would even be able to turn you into super form without needing a Chaos Emerald.
Huh, that would be pretty useful. Interesting. Hey, boss!
No pits, you can't eat them.
Damn it!
And as much as I love to go on about how the radiants absorb damage down near planetary level and you only use 10 of them, and you can hold over 1 million of them, or how he has access to Chow, which can revive you from Edmund's Chow Garden. Don't ask. But a more fun topic is to go over his speed. Here we go. Could go over how he can travel to planets, and how he matches Sonic, who outran a black hole and no space, which is in infinite space. But a more accurate one would be matching what happened in Sonic Generation, when all time was messed up and Sonic was literally 15 time by running. Hell, the Edgar Doom was able to match it, and an older version of Metal Sonic was able to match that speed.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool. Well done, right?
It's having literally learned nothing from Dragon Ball.
This isn't even his final form, is it?
Introducing Neo Metal Sonic. Even though this form has an unknown multiplier, but learning the fact that he got pelted by Sonic and lost 0 rings, so he had rings, means a good defense increase, and how he was able to speed blitz and overpower Sonic means speed and strength increase was here. He gained this form by using the bio that everyone else and Chaos Energy, although in IW he gained this form without using either. And this isn't even his final form, or when using Master Emerald, even though Super Neo. This form is more powerful than Chaos Emeralds, which overpower Solaris and Time Eater, both people who manipulate time, although it does break easily. And was also able to both Speed Blitz, Sonic, and Knuckles, and was literally wiping the floor of them, until Edgelord himself intervened.
Well, if this force somehow fails him, he can copy the bio out of everyone. It doesn't matter if it's Knuckles or Sonic, and the fucking Master Emerald can become Metal Overlord. This way we can trap you in Crystal and shoot only missile spike things. But not like the other ones, his form did fail him. But even with all that, he still believes he's the real Sonic.
After this event, he was given a choice of redemption, but he chose to go back to Eggman. Why did he do this? Well, other than he's more loyal, it's probably because he's like a son to him. With the occurrence of Sage, Eggman's less of a boss and more of a father. Hell, he has Sage and 2 annoying brothers now. It makes it seem like a murderous machine, and trust me, he is. But he's a part of a big robotic family, willing to take any hit from them. Hell, even if it's from a giant flaming turtle thing. And that's just it. That's what makes him a Sonic. Sonic's not just some butt kicker who beats Eggman every now and then. He's a protector, willing to jump into anything to protect his friends, no matter the cost. Hell, that's the same thing with Metal. Maybe this is a chance for him to finally become soft. Who am I kidding? Metal will always be, and no matter what version, he will always be there to surpass Sonic. And to him, the original is obsolete, and you better hope that isn't you. We went through both characters' powers and abilities to find a great conclusion. Now it's time for a Nexus battle. Hey yo!
Wow, that was cool, right, boss? Boss?
I'm not talking to you after what you did to my friend's verse.
This man didn't do your categories this time?
Fine.
Yes! Like, you know we're gonna bring into 4 categories: stats, experience, abilities, and power versus stats. These two have both shown immeasurable speeds with, but still needed to do instant transmission to harness immeasurable speed. Metal actually has this immeasurable speed.
And as far as strength goes, Metal Sonic and Max Sonic who destroyed an infinite dimension. That's right, an infinite dimension. Also for durability, noting the fact that rings can literally absorb damage and how it can literally hold over 1 million of these and you can only lose 10 of them when you get hit. Yeah, it's pretty clear who takes stats.
Experience is a different story.
Metal Sonic has dealt with trained knights and actual combat trained warrior, but still has a bout out of 8 experienced fighters, and last I checked, 8 was greater than 2. Experience still sell, but abilities is a little different story. Some might know a lot of different techniques, like a lot. That some of them might even close the power speed gap, but yeah, Metal Sonic has a lot, and I mean a lot more on the table. Hell, he has to have lots. He has top ability, and he has more windows. You just suck him in a black hole, turn him into a bunch of rings with no difficulty, or just trap it in a bubble. Yeah, Billy stole the Metal Sonic. Finally, it comes down to yeah, let's just not pretend this was fair. Sure, Cell might be strong, but with all the different forms, super form, scaling, like seriously, yeah. Bill may have enough battle experience to keep this battle going, but Metal Sonic had every other advantage to take the win.
Well, at least Cell finally found his perfect opponent.
Which will just keep getting worse. The winner is Metal Sonic.